Bowen, if you could just tell me a little bit about yourself, about your team success, and what are you guys doing that's separating yourselves from the pack right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So before FFL and before insurance, I was playing college football in Arkansas. I had graduated 2 years ago. I got into insurance with my captive company as soon as I graduated. Long story short, I was working in insurance in a pond and not the ocean. I had made the jump to FFL my first month with FFL. I made all of what I made in a year at my captive agency. So it was like going from the pond to the ocean. And then it was like off to the races at that point. And I think how we propelled our growth is we had a lot of guys that were willing to do what it took. Like it wasn't fun, it wasn't easy traveling, it was hectic, but it was what had to be done to be able to build an agency. And if you're willing to do what it takes, like the sky's the limit here. People say that all the time, but like you got to pick up the phone when you don't want to pick up the phone. You got to go to the homes when you don't want to go to the homes. You got to do the drop-bys when you don't want to do the drop-bys. And like our team is 90% virtual now, but I tell agents all the time, like if virtual's not working for you, get out in the field. Like there's something extremely powerful about sitting with families in person because they realize you're a real person. They realize you care about them. They realize they're in your best interest. Like you're there to serve them. You're there to help them. And I think what has allowed us to grow so fast is really getting people bought in that have the same vision and mission that you do. Like we have all sorts of great people. It was nothing I did. I think I was just fortunate and blessed enough to have Caitlin Blackburn fall into my life, Kevin, Bree, Nicolette. Like there's so many powerful individuals that I've been able to partner with along the year just from grinding. And I think people forget like there's two sides to this business. One's going to be selling and then one's going to be recruiting, right? In order to recruit, you got to be able to sell, because if I'm only making $5,000 a month and I call somebody that's making $5,000 a month, I'm like, hey, this is the greatest opportunity. Like I can teach you how to crush it, when really I can't, because I'm only selling 5,000 a month. But if you're going out there, you're crushing 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, $100,000 a month, who the hell wouldn't want to work with you? Because nobody else is doing that. And I think in order to be able to recruit, you have to figure out the sales process, because you don't want to recruit individuals over here and set them up for failure when you don't know how to sell. So I think what's allowed us to grow is just understanding the business, understanding it's not going to be easy, and understanding there's nowhere else you can work in the world that's going to give you the opportunity to partner with integrity.
And guys, real quick, Bowen, I'm gonna back it up real fast. He said, I think you worded it, I got lucky. I work with some great people, Caitlin, Kevin. Guys, you when you put out the hard work, people want to work with that, right? There's no luck involved, Bowen. It's very, people seek out who they want to work with. People are smart. People can read through what you're doing. And when you're doing the right work, people want to join with forces with that. So again, super pumped for you guys, super pumped for your team. We're really big on, warm market recruiting. That's probably 90% of our team. And I think about your team, the same thing, right, Bowen? A lot of people coming over. What are you guys doing different right now? Because again, everybody's doing social media, everybody's doing content and putting it out there. Why are you guys the group that's growing the fastest and doing it different? What are you guys doing?
I think everybody's doing the call, but you gotta do the close. Like it's one thing to get on the phone with somebody, but it's another thing to close them down, get them like bought in, get them studying for their exam and getting them to pass their exam. So I feel like everybody's very good at reaching out and starting the conversation, but now it's like, how do we close it? And that's where I hit back on sales drives recruiting, because I sit down with a lot of people that are in solar sales, pest control, this, that, and the other. But basically what I'll hit on is, hey, Josh, everybody's in sales. It's hard to believe that someone's making X amount or someone's making 20, 30 grand a month, right? You'd agree on that. They're like, yeah, okay. Josh, is this your personal cell phone, the one that you're on? Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, I'm a big numbers guy. That's what got me to FFL in the first place. So I just sent you my deposits from last month. That was earned on me just going out and selling. And then boom, they get the deposit. They're like, holy crap. And they just let them know like, hey, I'm nothing special. I was a jackass 2 years ago playing college football. Like I'm nothing special, but what I do is I work hard, I stick to the system, and there's no doubt in my mind, if you're coachable, you have very good work ethic, that you can't even double what I'm doing. So I think it's just being crazy transparent with them, being open with people, because when you say, hey, you can make 30 grand a month, they're like, it doesn't really make sense. But when they see, boom, the deposits for 30, 40, 50, 60 grand a month, they're like, holy crap. Like he's only 25. He's only this, he's been doing it 10 months. You're like, yes. And I beat my head against the wall so I can tell you what not to do to be able to get here a lot faster.
Guys, I don't know if you got that, but like, I hope you're taking notes, because again, that's gold. And I think a lot of people mess up, Bowen. I think they mess up because they said, yeah, you can do this, you can make all this money, but then if you're not doing it, what are you going to show? You're going to show your upline or your manager's deposits? Like, we're not doing that, right? So I think that's why it's so important, again, to lead from the front and protect the, 30 to 50 families a month, because that's when it gives you the leverage to do that stuff. Now, Bowen, you said you target, certain, careers or demographics. How are you doing that? Like on social media, like how are you guys reaching out? Are there certain people you're looking for, or like, because you guys are very direct with who you recruit. We're not just taking Joe Schmo off the street. Everybody with a, Grady says that can fog a mirror. We're not taking everybody. Like, how are you specifically targeting these people on social media that you want to recruit?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, Instagram's powerful. I think that's where majority of people are headed towards nowadays. And what I'll do is I'll just search. You could literally go to Google and say, what's every door-to-door business out there? And you can hashtag door-to-door. You can hashtag Monet. You can hashtag beauty sales. You can hashtag so many different things, pest control, you name it, solar sales. You hashtag that and you're going to see everybody that tags it. And you can follow those hashtags. So you're going to, somebody, boom, first solar cell, they hashtag solar cells, boom, you get to follow them. And then you just message them. Hey, came across your page. I was curious what you currently do for work. I almost sound like I'm interested in what they're doing. Awesome. I'm always open to network. That's one thing that I learned in business is your network's your net worth. So I would love to jump on a call, pick your brain. You seem like a sharp dude. And he's like, of course, when's a good time for you? And then you let them tell you everything great about their company. And then you can hit on like, oh, your sales one time. Okay. And you get paid every other week. Okay. Well, our sales for the life of the policy, we can get paid within 24 to 48 hours. There's no cap. We have leads, right? You'd agree, being in sales, it's hard to get sales without any leads. And if you're out there generating your leads, when you could just be focused on selling, 90% of your efforts generating a lead, right? When you can just remove that and just sell, like just imagine your profitability. And I think it's just hitting on stuff like that.
Guys, give me a 3 if that's something you're not doing. Give me a 3 if that's something you're not doing, and how easy it is to implement that. But what I like about Bowen, guys, extremely professional. There's no like sleazy sales pitch. There's no like, you look sharp, like get back to me. Like, guys, he knows what he's doing. He's carrying himself a different way. Because guess what? When you are making that sort of money with FFL, guys, we are allowed to carry ourselves a certain way. We got to differentiate ourselves, in the marketplace, right? FFL is different from every other company. So we need to carry ourselves on social media and reach out to people in a different way than they're used to getting reached out to. Bowen, that's gold, dude. So that you literally just Google door-to-door sales, look all the certain companies. How many people are you adding on your social media every day? Because I know you guys like it's nitty gritty. People think it's just like we got teams coming in. Like it's not like that. There's so much work that goes behind getting those people and getting out in front of these people. How many people are you adding on your social media a day?
Yeah. So what I plan to do is, or what I've been doing, me and my admin. So my admin messages 50 a day. I message 100 a day. So we're reaching out to 150 people every single day, right? It's just like sales. When you get over here, if you don't know how to recruit like me when I started, then it's going to take a lot of work, which is fine because I mean, you work on it, you can become a beast recruiter, but it's just like sales. So when you come over here, you can't expect to buy 100 leads and sell every single lead, right? Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, especially when you just get started. So same thing with recruiting. It may take 1,000 messages to get 1 to 2, 3 people, right? But it's consistency that gets people over here. It's you building a relationship with people. sliding up on their stories, whether you didn't recruit them or not. Because I had a lady that I got on the phone with, she does door-to-door solar, and we're talking and she wasn't really committed. Then I like her stuff. I see her stories. I like her stories. She texted me yesterday saying, hey, I want to get on a call Saturday. Like, I'm ready to do this. So, I mean, there's people that you're going to recruit within a week. There's people that may take a couple months. I have a buddy that I stopped taking serious because he said he wanted to join me when I started the business, right? He didn't get in till 7 months, and now he's a 30K a month producer. So, I mean, you never know. I think consistency is everything. I think building relationships, not being hostile, like, you're not going to make any money over there if you don't come with me, right? Not doing anything weird like that. But if you leave it as, okay, well, man, I'm going to stay following you on social media. I hope you crush it. Let's jump on a call here in 6 months and just kind of see where we're at. If you're making more money than me, why wouldn't I jump and come work with you, right? That's why I always say, like, hey, if where you're at is better than where I'm at right now, I'll pack up my bags and leave right now, right? But there's not a better opportunity out there. I've done door-to-door sales. I've done solar. I've done the captive route. I've done a lot of things, but there's nothing like FFL. So I'll always hit back on selling, because that's going to be the most value you bring to yourself. You will, when you're writing 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a month, you're going to create this confidence in yourself you never thought you had. And it'll be easy to talk to people. Like, when you're making 5, 10 grand a month, you almost feel guilty talking to people, saying, hey, I can get you over here. Like, you'll crush it. No, they won't. Not if they're doing what you're doing. So I think in order to recruit, figure out the sales process, whatever it takes. And it's a numbers game. If you're new here, if you're new on this call, it's a race to 100 presentations. After that, you'd have seen it all. You'd have figured out a system that works for you, and then you'll be able to teach people how to do it, right? Don't wait to recruit like me. Recruit off the rip. If you need help, you have managers that can help train them. You don't want to train people if you're writing 10 grand a month, but if you have a manager writing 30, 40, 50, boom, sweet. He can work with them and he can help train you both at the same time.
Bowen, I'm super impressed, dude. I haven't heard you speak too much, guys. Everything he's hitting on is pure gold. I literally hope everybody's taking this down, and it's so true, right? How many of us like have gone back and forth with an agent, and we're just like, dude, I'm gonna show him, like, I'm gonna blow him up. He's never gonna come back at me like that. But if you keep a relationship, and they're gonna be like, dang, that was kind of different. That was different what he did. Right? Because guess what? We've all been in positions, whether it's door-to-door sales, pest control, we were serving, right? We've all had bad days. And we think back to people offering us opportunities, or someone reaching out and being super cool. You're like, dude, I might go back to that guy, Bowen, right? I think we've all been there. And I think that's something as a group we can do a lot better at, is we need to reach out to new people. Bowen, one thing that our group, I think we do really well, we post a lot of our successes. We post a lot of other people's stories, but it's just our market seeing our stories. We're just reposting everybody else's stuff. Now, is your whole team doing what you're doing? Like reaching out to 100 people, just messaging back and forth?
The people that are growing are the people that are growing. You can't lead a horse to water and make it drink. We've all heard that, right? And like this, that's what's crazy, is there's so much value that people provide in FFL, and there'll be people that get off this call that, boom, they're just going to go through the same old thing they're going through. But there's going to be people that took down notes and like, hey, I'm going to implement this crap right away, and I'm going to start building right away. Because I was on a call with I forget his name, but this guy, he was building. He's been here, I think, 60 or 90 days. He went from 0 to 250,000 IP in a month, and it was crazy because he didn't come from insurance. He didn't come from a network marketing company. He had no network, but how he won is consistency and reaching out to people. And I think that's super important, because if you don't recruit them, what you're doing is you're planting seeds. Like, you're either going to get a recruit, or you're going to plant a seed and they're going to know somebody or refer somebody to you, or they're eventually going to come join you. Like, there's no timeline on when they have to join us, right? And the longer they wait, the better it is going to be for them, because you're going to be more developed to be able to help them out anyways. So I think God's got a plan for everything. I think there's timings essential in this business. And I think if you're not getting them right away, you're planting a seed.
Guys, real quick. Again, we got two muscles in the business, right? We're selling and recruiting. If we're selling at a high clip, it makes the recruiting so much easier, because now Bowen's telling us exactly what they're doing. or literally exactly what they're doing, who they're reaching out to, what they're saying, how the conversation's going. Bowen, when do you find time to do it, man? Because that's another thing. Well, I'm out in the field or I'm on live dials all day. When are you doing this stuff?
When people say they don't have time, I just think of it as an excuse. Like, I'm big on extreme accountability. Like, I was an athlete. Like, when I was late to practice, I didn't say, well, Joe was driving me. That's why we were late. I'm like, you're right, coach. I'll get on the hill. Like, that's what he loved about me. He's like, hey, why'd you mess this play up? I'm like, I effed up. He's like, okay, that's what I like about you. Like, own that crap and just find time, because you just really prolonging the process for you building a big business and for you creating financial freedom. And the longer you wait, I mean, FFL's not going anywhere. Like, you'll eventually make money, but you're making your life struggle more, your family struggle more. It just prolonging the process. So I think it's very important just to lock in, take it serious, and like time. People say, I don't have time. Well, then what else are you doing? If you're not selling, you're not recruiting, what else are you doing? Right? Because there's really, if you wake up early, there's 16 hours in a day. And this isn't hard labor. Like, I did hard labor. I grew up like in Arizona packing scaffolding in the heat. That was hard work. And I was doing that 12 hours a day because I had to. Like, we get to do this. We get to build a business. Like, it's just so crazy. And if you understand what's in front of you, like, you're going to be shocked if you put your head down, put in the time, put in the effort, and you look up in 2, 3, 4, 5 months, and you're gonna be like, holy crap, like, I didn't cheat myself at all. And this is what I was able to accomplish. Because nobody's special. People that are building a big team, I'm not special. I'm just consistent. I'm willing to do what it takes. And I think everybody on this call has what it takes. And all that is being able to talk. That's all it is. Being able to reach out, being able to show up. And that's really all it takes.
Bro, I'm taking notes. Like, my whole page is filled up. But guys, I like what he said there. He's not special. He's just consistent. That's everything about this business, right? Like, I don't know if you guys have been to like some events or you hear people talk, you're like, dude, his team's doing what? And he can barely speak. Like, that's probably me when I'm up on stage. But that's everybody, guys. No one's special here. It's really just the people that are working the hardest day in and day out and staying consistent with the process. Bowen, one thing that you kind of hit me with, guys, we've got some people that have been in business here for, I don't know, 6 to 12 months, right? Just like you've been here, right? And haven't seen the success that you've seen yet. Guys, we reinvent ourselves in the business every single month. You can't, one thing that Sean's really big on, you cannot hang your past victories and let that carry your way through FFL to grow a business, right? One thing that I like about Bowen, and I can just see it listening to him, he's got that fire. Like, he's ready to go every single day. And the team feels that the same thing. It trickles down. So again, if you've been here and you haven't seen the results yet, guys, today's the first day of the month. Like, every week, every month, we start fresh. We don't hang our hat on anything we've done. And I can see that in his team and why they're growing so fast, guys. They have that fire that we're going to stay consistent no matter what we're doing, good or bad. We're going to stay consistent. Bowen, the recruiting side, appreciate you sharing all those nuggets. I want to get on. You said 90% of your team's doing telesales.
Yes.
Now, how does that look like? Are you, say I'm an agent, it's my first week in the business, and I'm like, Bowen, I want to do telesales. What do I need to do to be successful? I want to protect at least 10 to 20 families my first month. What do I need to do?
Awesome. So bare minimum, $1,000 a week on leads investment, right? What's the longer you're in this business, that's really nothing, because that's one sale. We look at it as like how our numbers are now. That's one sale. That's one family you have to protect out of 100, 200 leads. So I would say 1,000 bare minimum a week, and you got to be willing to spread out your leads. So I run in a bunch of different states, and then having some that's going to hold you accountable. We have a Zoom open every single day. It's not mandatory. It's there for agents to pop on and to get help or to be able to provide value to other agents. But if it's just you saying, hey, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to work virtual, I'm just going to get on and dial the phone by myself, that'll never work, because you're eventually going to look outside and you're like, oh, dang, the pool looks nice, or see the margarita mix and like, oh, dang, that looks good. But really, you have to get on Zoom and be able to hold yourself accountable. So I think finding a system that works for you, working from home, it's not for everybody. And I would say it's gonna cost you more leads, because when I would say selling virtual, you got to be good on the phones, and that's going to come with time, but it's like selling on eggshells. Like you can't really push or have as much control over the phone, which is fine. You can get there. You'll figure out what works. But when you're in home, you're able to really have that control. Like they can't just say, hey, get the F out of my house. But when you're on the phone with them, they can hang up on you, which is fine. But I think it's understanding what works for you. I would say virtual's not for everybody. When I first started, my first 7 months, majority of my income was from in-home appointments. So I wouldn't switch up anything. If in-home's working for you, great. If virtual's working for you, great. But I think the hybrid schedule is the best. I don't know if you guys saw, but I'm working my way back into the field just because virtual, I feel like I'm sitting around, I'm anxious. But when I'm in the car and I have appointments to go to and I'm just talking on the phone in between appointments, like I feel crazy productive. So I feel like hybrid schedule is the way to go. I do some virtual, but I think in-home is great, to be honest, Josh.
Guys, I think Bowen, you're the perfect guy to have on the call today. Because I think, right, virtual is like the flavor of the week, right? It's been great. Like people are excited. People are coming to work with us because of virtual. But Jesse said something yesterday. The field is your foundation in this business. And I like what you said, Bowen. Your first 7 months, you were in the field, right? You got to develop that muscle, guys. You got to develop that skill. You got to develop and really see those cues when someone you show prices on Americo Eagle. You got to see how the client reacts to that, right? If we're skipping all that stuff and just going straight to the phones, guys, we never got any of that experience, right? So if you're struggling on the phones, get back in the dang field, man. Go run this thing half and half. Go get 2 days in the field, 3 days on the phones. But guys, I think people are on virtual right now, Bowen, just to be transparent. We have a lot of people that aren't seeing the consistent results yet on the phones. Why is it such a good idea to get back in the field or just go start and get your I don't know, go skin your knees in the field, right? That's when you get really good. And I think people want to skip that part just because they're like, dude, I'm going to be on Zoom, banging out phones all day. Why is it important to start in the field?
I think what helped me out too is you have a Monday dial day. Boom, you're in the field the next 2 days, get fresh air. Like there's something about that just keeps your mind right. And I think if you're dialing Monday through Saturday, just on the phones nonstop, like your mindset will start to dwindle. And that's where I hit on like personal development. Like you got to find something that drives you. You got to find something that's bigger than yourself. You got to find something that's greater than yourself. And if you wake up and you take in positive energy and take in some positive fuel and really challenge yourself before you get on the phones and before you start the workday, boom, then you can go all day. Like if I wake up and I go murder my legs in the gym, and then it's just easy for me to sit here because I've already done something hard in my day, to where just picking up the phone and dialing, it's like almost relaxing. You're like, this is nice. So, I mean, there's a bunch of ways to make money in this business. And I think if you present 100 times right off the rip, you're going to find a system that works for you. You'll be dialing, booking appointments, and they're like, hey, I can't, you know what? You can't come out. I'm not going to be here the next couple of days. Awesome. Do you have about 5-10 minutes right now? Yes, we do. Okay, perfect. We'll go ahead and grab a pen and paper, write down my information. You can run it right then and there. That's how you can practice some virtual, is when you're dialing and you're like, you know what, this virtual is working for me. Boom, transition to virtual. But you don't have to like immediately say, I'm all in, virtual or nothing. Like this is how it's going to be. Like you can do it on your dial days. Like, hey, 8 a.m. to 11, I'm going to run virtual. And then 3 p.m. to 8 p.m., I'm going to book for tomorrow.
I'm gonna pick that apart real quick, Bowen. Real quick, something getting back to, because what you said, right? Your dial days, right, guys? We're spending 8 to 10 hours on the phone to book up our schedule, right, for Tuesday and Wednesday. There's something about getting in the field that really just refreshes you, right? We got into this business because we're able to go anywhere, see anybody, travel, guys. There's something about it, right? Because I remember, Bowen, even when if you're gonna do virtual, like we got to have a first win of the day. If you go to the gym and bust your butt in the gym, you feel accomplished already by the time you get on the phones. You've already won, right? But if you wake up, get on Call of Duty for 2 hours and then hop on hybrid, our mindset's not going to be in the right place, right? We're not going to be, we didn't win the first battle of the day. And Bowen, that brings me back. When I was in the field, I would listen to podcasts on the road and it would really get my mind right. And I think a lot of people are probably neglecting to do that. and we're putting ourselves on the wrong foot to start the day. So a huge win on that one. Next, how many people, guys, be honest, are all in the field right now, but have wanted to transition like Bowen just did? Like you can switch it. Like if they can't meet, they're out of town. How many people have wanted to transition to a telesale right on the spot, a call to close, but haven't done so? Put a 1 in the chat. Because I think it does get a little overwhelming, right? Bowen, if we've never done it, so speak to me like I'm just a field agent. I've been out, I've sat with 30 families in my first 2 weeks. Okay. And I'm saying, man, well, there's some people that I'm missing out on because they're not home. They can't meet with me. How are you transitioning that script? You kind of ran over it a little bit, but can you kind of run a call to close script for us and how you transition that?
So basically I would call them, like say I'm booking for tomorrow and I call them and they can't do it right now. So I would call them, hey Josh, this is Bowen, just getting back to you in regards to some information you had requested about the Arizona state regulated life insurance programs. And I was just calling to verify the information you put down. It looks like you put down your date of birth here is 12/17/1996. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
So again, I'm just calling to verify your information. Looks like we have the best delivery address is a 123 Main Street. Is that correct as well?
Yeah, that's my address.
Awesome. So Josh, since they really simplified this whole process through the state of Arizona, it only takes about 5-10 minutes for me to run over this with you on the phone. That way I can get everything mailed out to you. Now, do you happen to have a pen and paper handy by chance?
I do. Yeah. Let me grab it. One
awesome.
second.
So
I'm back. We're good.
Boom. So write down my name, Bowen, last name Sweeney, and then my state license number. I always do that. So write down my state license number. That way you can just verify me through the state of Arizona. Verify I do have a valid and active license. Okay. Now, again, Josh, I'm a broker through the state of Arizona. So basically what that means is I work with over 25 different A++ rated companies across the nation. Okay. So my job is very simple. It's to do the shopping around for you to figure out, most importantly, which benefit's going to best fit your needs. Obviously a benefit that would be affordable to you. And then most importantly, something you could even qualify for. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, the biggest thing we do on this call today, Josh, is we're actually going to submit an application up to home office just to see if you can even qualify. The reason being is if you don't qualify, we just have to run a different option. Okay. Now,
I'm gonna pause it real quick. Pause it real quick, guys. Bowen, you said something that I haven't really heard before. How did you say it? We're going to take care of this so I can mail the information. How did you word that?
Yeah. So basically I'll let them know. So it only takes about 5 to 10 minutes since they really simplified this whole process through the state of Arizona. Shit, I'm trying to think where I was.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I threw you off.
You did throw me off. I don't know where that is in the script. I just get rolling. It's repetition for me. So basically, what was your question again? I'm trying to.
So you're saying how you said we're gonna take care of this, and then I'm gonna mail the information out to you.
I'm trying to think where that is.
It was like start the application.
We're going to start the application and then mail.
The biggest thing we do today is submit an application just to see if you even qualify. Man, I don't even know where it is in the script.
That was gold.
I rip it, to be honest. I don't even have it written.
Oh, my bad, dude. My bad.
You're good. You got
guys,
me.
real quick,
run it back if you want it.
Dude, I'm down. But one thing real quick, guys, it's smooth. It's smooth. And it's all the process. It's all reps. It's like everything else, right? But when you go to the gym and I've never been, and we throw up 315 on squat, it's going to be a rough day, right? And if I've never done it, but guys, it's all reps, man. But you see how it's not that deep? It's really not that deep. I think a lot of us build that barrier in our head. We've never done it. I'm nervous. I'm going to mess up. Bowen, do people mess up, man? Like on the phone?
Every day.
Okay.
Every day. As long as
I'm not going to interrupt you again. Can you run through that one more time?
Yeah. So I'll go from the rip. So grab a pen and paper. Awesome. Write down my information. Now, again, Josh, I am a broker. So what that means, I work with over 25 different A++ rated companies across the nation. Okay. So these are 3 important things that I always say is, now what I do, my job is very simple, Josh. It's to do the shopping around for you to figure out, most importantly, which benefit's going to best fit your needs. Obviously, benefit that would be affordable to you. And then most importantly, something you could even qualify for. Does that make sense? Boom. There you go. Like you work with the top companies, 25 different. 2, you're going to do the shopping around for them. So like when you get people on, they're like, I'm going to run some other options. I'm going to do the shopping around. That way, if you get to the close, they're like, I don't really like Americo. Perfect. I can do the shopping for you. I can run some other options for you. Again, my job's just to see which benefit's going to best fit your needs. And then most importantly, something they could even qualify for. That way they don't think they can just have it. You know what I mean? Like, hey, the biggest thing we got to do is see if you can even qualify, Josh. Because if they're like, hey, I got to think about it. Okay, there's not really anything for you to think about because we don't even know if you qualify. It's more so the company thinking if they want to provide you the coverage. So what we do is we'll submit an application to see if you can even qualify. And they'll let us know within minutes if you're approved, declined, or the company needs more information. Does that sound fair to you, Josh?
Makes sense. Bowen, I was really just looking for quotes, man. Can I just get a price?
So you were looking for quotes?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So this is going to be where I had already given you the options?
Just run it. Like say early on, like, hey, Bowen, man, can you just give me a quote, bro?
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so that's exactly what we do today, Josh. What I'll do is I'll run over a couple options with you, and then I'll be able to have you write down those quotes, okay? Because I don't really, like if you say it in the beginning, like boom, I can work my way into the script. If you say it at the end, I'm like, okay, do these numbers, they don't really make sense? Okay, so you're Josh, I'm not trying to be rude here. You're 61 years old. Like a quote's not going to do you any good. My job's just to see if you qualify too. So I always take off the pressure. So I don't really I was just looking for quotes. But what I'll get is maybe I need to think about it. Okay. Well, Josh, I'm not the sales agent that will come out and see you. I'm just the local field underwriter. My job's very simple. My job's just to submit an application up to home office just to see if you can even qualify. Worst case, you qualify, you don't even have anything to think about. These aren't quotes for you because you don't even qualify. And you can always do those takeaways.
Sheesh, guys, gold. Gold. Everything is, hey, well, I'm not the salesperson. I just got to submit your information to see if you even qualify for the coverage. So Bowen, 1, shopping for you. 2, affordability. And 3, most important, something you can qualify for. That's what we're
shopping around.
We're shopping for you. The 3 points you gave me. Number 1, I'm doing the shopping for you. Number 2, I got to make sure it's affordable. And number 3, most importantly, I got to make sure you can qualify for the coverage.
Yes, sir.
Wow, guys, can you do that? Give me a 5 if that's something you sound like you can do. It's so straightforward. It's so good. And guys, I think why Bowen's kind of like, we're going back and forth a little bit. Guys, it's conversation, man. It's a conversational piece. Everybody's going to give you different stuff. But when you get them on the line and it's so smooth like that, and guys, I don't know, but I didn't feel any sales pressure right there at all. No sales pressure. Guys, like you said, you're walking on eggshells, right? What'd you say? We're calling on eggshells, Bowen?
Yeah, it's like you're selling on eggshells. You got to kind of beat around the bush. But if you have a script that does that for you, that sets the structure in the beginning, it's very easy to overcome the objections at the end because, hey, I just want to look around. Okay, I told you I work with over 25 different companies, so I can run some other options for you. Or, hey, I want to think about it. Okay, there's nothing really for you to think about. We don't even know if you qualify, right? I'm not the sales rep. I'm just the local fielder underwriter. My job's just to see if you qualify. Okay, if you do qualify, they're going to mail your packet out to you in 7 to 14 business days. That way, when you can review it. You'll give me a call, make sure everything on there looks correct. And then most importantly, we want to make sure this is something that benefits your husband when something happens to you. And one thing I do is I get real transparent with them is like, I don't really trust giving this information out. Okay, so Josh, that makes me a little bit concerned. The reason being is if something happens to you, I'm going to be the one delivering the check to your family. Okay, so it's very important to me that you trust me. Okay, so what I can do is I can show you how to look up my license on the National Producer Registry, verify I do have an active and valid license. I can send you a picture of my driver's license, and then you do have my state license number. So you can verify me 3 different ways. Okay. Now, most importantly, I want to make sure this is something that's going to benefit you to pay off that mortgage or to cover your funeral and final arrangements when something does happen to you, Miss Mary. Does that make sense? And then they realize like, oh crap, he's a real person.
Guys, how many people, being honest, would combat that with something, right? Bowen didn't combat that at all. He said, hey, that worries me a little bit just because I'm going to be the person that's delivering your policy if something ever were to happen to you. Mary, does that make sense? Now, real quick, here's my number. Go ahead and let me, guys, it's smooth. It's smooth. We're not going back and forth arguing with them. We're just telling them, hey, that's normal. You know, I do want to help you. I want to make sure I'm the guy that's coming out to protect your family when that time comes. Something happens to your husband. And look up my information online. Here's my info. Here's my ID. Right, Bowen, when you do that, how many times out of 10 does that work?
I mean, I'm 8 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
You'll run into stubborn people who are like, I don't care. My kids can pay for it. You're like, okay, I shouldn't even be talking to you anyways. You're going to piss me off. But I think people get confused with an objection is like, oh, like they're not wanting it. And I look at it as an objection that's a question that needs an answer. Mm. And wow. When I get a question, I'm like, okay, I sit there, I think like, you don't have to jump to it right off the rip. Say, okay, I totally understand. Well, and then boom, answer them. So I think it's the biggest thing that I've learned through my 11 months here is calm, cool, and collective. Like these people filled it out. Hell, they already sat with you through the needs analysis. They picked an option. Like our job is just to make it make sense. An objection is just a question that needs answered. And our job is just to answer that question for them.
Dude, very, very impressed, Bowen. You've done this for a little bit, bro. I can tell you put the reps in on the phone. Guys, it's just not that deep, man. It's not that deep. Bowen, what percentage of your team is on Zoom live dials?
Zoom, I would say all the people writing 20, 30 grand a month. The ones that are writing 5, 10, they got stuff to figure it out, but I think they're eventually going to figure it out and realize that we're there to help them and realize if you don't see help, like nobody's going to come and drag you along.
Wow. Dude, guys, if you're not utilizing getting on and seeing other people doing it and getting better, guys, who got better today? Give me a 3 if you got better today. Listening to Bowen. Give me a 3. Light it up. Guys, this is what the Zoom dials is for. Hear people like Bowen rip it.
I got one for somebody said for account info. One thing is like, hey, Josh, again, this is so how we get the account info is, okay, the name of the financial institution you work with are going to want to use for this. Wells Fargo. Boom. I'm going to Google Wells Fargo. Was that open in Arizona or California? Arizona. Okay. Wells Fargo, Arizona routing number. Boom. Okay. I have the routing number here. Do you have something that I can verify this with? No. Okay. Go ahead and grab a checkbook or look up on your mobile app. That way I can verify I have the right routing number. And then boom, you're going to read off the routing number. They're going to match it. Okay. And then what was the account number you wanted to use for this? And then boom, if they don't give it to you there, okay. Again, I totally understand, Josh. I'm the same way. Again, this isn't like giving out your credit card or debit card. This is like if Billy down the street came and mowed your lawn, you're going to cut him a check. Same numbers on the bottom of the check. This is just to verify the account that you'd want to use for this.
That's good.
That is good. Whoo, guys. That's real though. That's people do that, Bowen. Maybe not as much anymore. We got turf out in here in Vegas, so not many people are mowing. But that's how it is, right? Like you're normalizing, hey, that's how you pay people. You never thought about it over there. This is protecting your wife, man. Let's go and just take care of this right now. But guys, how many people aren't doing that? And it's so easy, so simple, right? Bowen, say I throw at you, in the middle, hey, Bowen, this sounds great, man. I'm glad I got approved, but I do want to talk it over with my wife just to make sure that this is in budget and it's something we can afford.
Okay. So Josh, is it more so affordability that you're worried about? You're not worried about the coverage, right? That makes sense.
Yeah. Everything sounds great, man. Like I definitely need it, but my wife, she makes most of the decisions and I just want to make sure that that's, going to be good with her too.
Okay. Let's do this, Josh. I want to make sure I'm doing my best to serve you professionally and personally. So what we can do is we'll just start with the bronze option. We'll see if you get qualified. Now, this will just lock in your health, age, and habits. So down the road, you can always bump it up to the silver or the gold. Okay. Now we'll see if you qualify. If you do, Josh, what they're going to do is they're going to mail out your paperwork in 7 to 14 business days. That way you can get the physical policy packet in the mail. Okay. The reason I want you to have the physical policy packet in the mail is that way you and your wife can review this together. You can make sure this is something that's going to benefit her when something does happen to you. Okay. But again, we don't even know if you qualify. So what we'll do is we'll submit a quick application, see if you do, and then they're going to mail everything out to you in 7 to 14 business days. Okay. And then is the 123 Main Street, is that going to be the best delivery address?
Oh,
okay.
That's it.
Awesome. Just roll right into it.
Guys, and he's rolling, right? What'd you say? Objection is the question that needs an answer. Guys, yep. That's all it is, man. It's so smooth. It's reps. It's doing it consistently day in and day out. Bowen, that's all I got, dude. I'm pumped.
I have a question.
All
for
right,
him.
I'm gonna switch it to Alondra real quick.
Hey, so God, this is really, really good. This is like better than I thought it would be. So I'm super excited.
I get fired up. Dang.
One
already.
question that I have for you. You guys are running a lot of telesell. What are like your main carriers? Because I think it's very easy for us to get in our head and be like, ooh, I got to go to the cheapest one, or I got to like, what's your guys' process when it comes to showing what carriers to lead with?
Yeah. So when it comes down to cheap, I almost get upset when somebody says, well, I found a cheaper option. Everybody hears Colonial Penn. Awesome. So Alondra, that's great when you're young like me. That's probably when you got the accidental policy. But as you roll into retirement, you need to look to get something that's more guaranteed to pay out no matter when, where, how you die, right? Last thing you want to do is your family think they're going to receive $250,000 when in reality, they're going to receive nothing if you don't die in an accident, right? So my job's very simple, and I don't really let them pick cheap. The reason being is, hey, we can go cheap. You're not going to have any living benefits, right? The concern is not the fact that we're going to die, because we all will, right? But the concern is if you were to get a critical illness, a chronic illness, or become disabled while you're living, right? That's where things get expensive, not when you die. So the reason I go with Americo is they have 100% living benefits. So if you were to become critically ill, develop a chronic illness, or become disabled at all, you have access to receive your full benefit amount upfront to you while you're still living. So I still go Americo off the rip. And then like if it's Eagle, you can text them. Like you get a text confirmation. That's so simple. And you get 25% more towards your first bonus. So it only makes sense.
I asked that because not so much. I think our clients, I feel like our clients don't really know like what's out there. It's our job to show them the best. But I feel like sometimes as agents, we feel like I can find them something better. What if I go with Transamerica because it's $3 cheaper than Americo? That's kind of like, why do you guys lead with Americo and Aetna when it comes to the whole telesale process?
Right. It's like buying a diamond from the diamond store and rocking it to a fashion show or the one out of the vending machine, right? You want quality over price. And I think that's why Americo's like awesome, because why would I sell Aetna over Americo, right? Maybe if they didn't qualify Americo, then Aetna, but they only have 50% living benefits. Like Americo makes sense for the clients. Like how would you feel if you sold solely on price and that client called you up and said, hey, or it's their daughter, hey, my mom just had a stroke. Does this policy have living benefits? And you're like, holy shit, I sold her $2 less to be able to get her to get the policy. So I think it's fighting for our clients, letting them know like, hey, I work with over 25 different companies. If you want to go cheap, we can go cheap, but I don't think this is something like you don't go into Walmart and say, hey, I want great value because it's the cheapest, right? And that's like this isn't Walmart. This is life insurance. Like this is to protect your family if something happens to you. So I tell them like, I almost, that like irritates me because I had somebody say that the other day. I'm like, hey, this is for your family. Like you can go cheap at Walmart. You can go cheap at Home Depot. You can go cheap at the gas station. Don't go cheap with life insurance. This is what's going to pay out when something happens to you.
God, that is so good. I got Josh over here biting at the bit.
No, dude, I'm just holding up the 3, baby. It's gold. And guys, Bowen, I'm not going to keep you on much longer, bro, but appreciate your time, dude. I think we got a lot out of this. Like I said, I'm extremely impressed with you, extremely impressed with your team. And guys, don't be surprised in the next 12 months if this is your next integrity partner. So again, Bowen, thank you so much. Any last thoughts you got for the team, man? Yeah,
I would say if you're new here, find somebody that you want to run with. It doesn't like if your manager brought you in and they're not where you want to be, that's fine. They're just there to help you out, but find somebody you want to mimic, find somebody you want to run with, like embrace the process, put your head down, work on yourself personally and professionally, outside the business, inside the business, and really grind it out and look up in 6 months and see where you're at. But don't cheat yourself and expect the results. That's the biggest thing.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for your time, Owen.
I appreciate you guys.
All right, Bowen. Take care, brother.